All right, we'll gather around here a little bit, and thank you all for coming out. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning, you know, and actually the weather, wow, it really agreed this year, huh? And, you know, usually I got to wear a long coat. Hey, Jerry. Yeah. And so anyway, I want to start with acknowledging and thanking all the veterans and all of our staff that's in uniform, our fire and police that are here in uniform today. And thank you for coming out. Thank you for city staff coming out. Introduce a few of our dignitaries that are here today. Our Mayor, Cliff Lentz, and former Mayor, Karen Cunningham. Our city manager, Jeremy Dennis. Volunteer of the Year, Sebastian. Good to see you, Sebastian. All right, and Chief of Police, Lisa Macias, our Commander, Mario Garcia. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. And let's see if I miss anybody. Oh, okay, yeah, Christina, our Assistant City Manager. Yeah. It's your first one here. Who? Oh, our new Public Works Director. Hey, welcome aboard. Yeah. We have Randy Burrow out here calling cadence, but he's not here today with us. So anyway, thank you for Caroline and Angel for setting this up, and donuts and coffee there. I don't know who donated them, but thank you for whoever did. And I'll start with the word freedom. Freedom is not free. Most of us know that, okay? And, you know, on the 11th hour, on the 11th day, the 11th month, in 1918, is when the armistice took effect for World War I. And later, when General Eisenhower became President Eisenhower, he changed it to Veterans Day, which is officially tomorrow. Today is the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. Wow. Any former Marines, you could raise your hand. Thank you for serving. And also October 13th was United States Navy 250th birthday. United States Army is somewhere in there, but back a little bit further. But anyway, it was 1775. So I want to acknowledge it and want to acknowledge all the veterans who became willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And we actually had an individual who did make the ultimate sacrifice. His name is Staff Sergeant Yuen Hop, whose plane was shot down in Germany in 1944. And his remains were deemed unrecoverable until, through very due diligence of the Department of PIA Accounting Agency, DPAA for short, had come across some documents that found that his remains were actually buried in the civilian cemetery along with two other missing airmen who were deemed unrecoverable. And their remains were recovered, identified, and repatriated to the United States. Staff Sergeant Yuen Hop was identified last year, and in Golden Gate Cemetery this past January, he was interned in the Veterans Cemetery. This morning we have with us a relative of Staff Sergeant Yuen Hop, who is also a Brisbane resident. And I'd like to introduce her to maybe tell a little bit about her story. And before I do that, I just want to say that we still have a little bit less than 81,000 MIAs from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and all the Gulf Wars. Of those, approximately 71,000 are from World War II. A little more than 7,800 from the Korean War, a little more than 1,500 from the Vietnam conflict, and then, you know, a few others from the Afghan, Iraq, and the Gulf War. Of those, only 36,000 are deemed recoverable. But it's really important, I think, for family members to really have a knowledge of what happened to their loved one. It doesn't lessen the pain, but at least they know. And I don't use the word closure because that pain doesn't go away. Anyway, at this point, I'd like to introduce Janice to give us a little talk about her uncle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. So I don't know how many of you were here last year when it was pouring rain. You may remember that. And at that time, Mayor Conway talked about this agency that looked for POWs and MIAs, and I had no knowledge of what was to come. So my mother's sister, my aunt, was married to the brother of Yuen Hop, the soldier who perished in World War II. So in essence, he was an uncle of sorts to me, but of course I never met him. He was 20 years old when he died. So the family of 7, there were 2 sisters who were living at the time when they were looking through his records, and so they were able to take samples from the 2 sisters, which enabled them to identify the remains that they found in 2013 of Yuen Hop. So it's a very long time. By the time he was returned to the Bay Area, it was 80 years. It just goes to show the dedication of this group, that they would look for someone for that long a period of time. So at the time when he was returned, I had no idea of what was to come. They sent his body back on a military flight. It was all taped on the news, and then so in February they had a full military service over at Golden Gate National Cemetery. And it was remarkable, the veterans, the turnout that they had when we were over. We went over to Duggan's, and they were lining the parking lot. These are people that they just know through the network of the importance of this. And it was just amazing. I was very touched by it all. And we were lucky enough to have the New York Times reporter, Heather Knight, there at the cemetery, and she brought his photographer. And so we had photographs of everything. And so the article that came out, it came out in February of last year. And there's a copy over there if someone wants to look at it, but I can certainly provide it to whoever's interested. But suffice it to say, the family drew together, and it was really nice to be able to have that closure. So we're really thankful to the government for what they have done for us. But thank you very much for honoring him and for inviting me to speak today.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Janice. Thank you very much. So at this time, we're going to do the flag salute, National Anthem. So those in uniform, if you wish, and veterans, you may use your hand salute. Everybody else, you can place your right hand over your heart. We have graciously been with Kathy Wall, who is going to sing the National Anthem. And Kathy, thank you so much for coming out and doing this today. I just wanted to say one thing, that the Department of PIA Accounting Agency started a little bit after the Vietnam War ended, and that was part of the Paris Peace Accord treaty that was signed in January of 1973. So since 1973, about a little over 3,500 MIAs have been returned from World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam, and a few others from some other ones. So anyway, at this time, Kathy, if you do the honor, thank you so much.
Now, are we doing the pledge first? Or
No, we can just do the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, brought truth to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Order, arms. Thank you all for coming out. Again, freedom is not free, and many paid their lives for that, such as Staff Sergeant Yuen Hop. And thank you to all the veterans who have served. Your honor is my honor. Thank you, and that'll conclude for the ceremonies today. Thank you so much for coming out. Enjoy the coffee and donuts.
Thank you for